Good afternoon. It's Monday, March 14th. I'm Shay Koshy, and here's what's making news now. The province's Special Investigations Unit is investigating the death of a 21-year-old man after a police shooting in North York this morning. The Emergency Task Force and K-9 unit were deployed to the area, responding to a report of a fight between two men at Leslie and Shepherd. One of the men was allegedly armed, according to police tweets. The SIU has taken over an investigation, as is protocol with any police-related shooting. Toronto is moving towards becoming another Canadian city for safe injection sites. This proposed site will allow people to safely take drugs while being supervised by a nurse, as a prevention method for overdosing. There are two such sites in the country, and both of them are located in Vancouver. The federal Liberal government has already voiced their support for these sites, and this decision will be made at an Ontario Board of Health meeting. The Ontario government wants to introduce legislation to help improve affordable housing in communities. This is the beginning of a project led by the federal Liberal government to end chronic homelessness in Canada. One of the aims of the proposed legislation is to give cities powers to make builders include affordable housing into projects. Closer to home, SkedLIVE reporter Jiang Li Tian takes us to Humber's Lakeshore campus, where a mock crime scene investigation event is taking place.
Hi, I am Jiang Li Tian. We're here at Humber L Building where it's a CSI game. Let's check it out.
The Crime Games is a CSI-based program where you have to try to solve a crime and basically reenact your favorite TV shows, CSI, all those crime shows, do the evidence properly, tag it properly, and hopefully you get enough clues to solve the game.
Well, what we want to show is the difference between what you see on TV and how all crimes are solved in 35 minutes and real life. And this is trying to show what a crime scene actually looks like, what evidence can be gathered, and how you try and go and do forensics.
I'd say putting everything together, kind of having to think of what happened when you're the first to respond on that scene. So it was a little difficult in that way.
We ran it last year, and the people who did the best were advertising students. They followed the instructions. They came in and they realized that they didn't know what they were doing, so they watched the videos that we got up online, they followed all the instructions, and they followed that perfectly. With criminal justice students, they thought, well, I know how to do this, I don't need to read the instructions, and they didn't do very well.
This is Jiang Li Tian for skedline.com. Back to the studio.
Thanks a lot, Jiang Li. Humber students have chosen who would lead HSF this year. Irvin Solitario has a story on who won the election.
So the results are in for the Humber Student Federation elections, and Ahmed Tahrir has been re-elected president. Also here at the Lakeshore campus, Nadine Sutherland and Robert Leger has been elected for the board of directors. And now we have a chance to talk to Student Affairs re-elected vice president Anna Bilan, and here's what she has to say. Anna, how was your campaign?
My campaign was amazing. These 2 weeks, I able to meet with more than 1,000 people, like 1,000 new people, because I was vice president of Student Affairs last year, and I was so excited about it. But I had an opportunity during these 2 weeks. My platform stays, your dreams are my goals, and what it means is I'm looking for students to be successful, and to be able to be successful, you need to do 2 things. First is to take care of yourself. That's why I would like to create mental health activity room. And second is soft skill development.
So we decided to take it to the students here at Humber College Lakeshore campus and see what they think of the results. So what better way to talk to them than while they're eating. How did you think the candidates campaigned?
They campaigned very well. There's more that stand out more to me, and there was a few that actually took the time to go out to the people and talk to them.
I've seen the pictures everywhere. I didn't see them physically.
Everywhere.
I didn't see them.
I think they should promote the elections a little more because it was kind of like on the lows. They really closed down the K building, which kind of took away the unity of students, which I found bothersome. I didn't play pool. I didn't see the students.
To be honest, I don't really care, but I know it's important and I know I should care.
You'd always be doing more.
Yeah.
More activities, more fun.
Yeah.
Like what?
All kinds of stuff. Wellness day, game day, animal day, all of that fun stuff.
I miss those days.
No, you shouldn't have it.
There you have it. The students have mixed opinions on the results for the HSF elections. For more on this story, be sure to check on skedline.com and at skedline on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm Irvin Solitario. Now back to the studio.
Thanks a lot, Irvin. Now we head over to Sadie Perfetto, who's got a weather report.
Bad news for those starting March break today, it's raining. Showers will continue throughout the day and into the overnight. Don't be fooled by the high of 12 degrees though, because it's going to feel a lot cooler than that. Lucky for students, you can still take part in some indoor activities. The Wizard World Fun Park will be happening at the Better Living Center, and the Ontario Science Centre planetarium shows will be happening all week long. Skies could clear towards the end of the week. Alana Pranjic has more in the studio.
Thanks, Sadie. Looks like a gloomy day out there. I hope you have your rain boots on. The rain stays with us into tomorrow, and we'll have a high of 9 and a low of 6. The rain then continues into Wednesday with a high of 10 and a low of 3. As we move into Thursday, we get to see some of that sunshine, but we still will have some heavy cloud cover with a high of 10. Then as we move into Friday, the sun does come out, so if you're looking to get outside, that'll be the day to do it with a high of 6. Moving into Saturday, we get to see more seasonal temperatures with a high of 4 and a low of 1. That's it for your 5-day forecast. Even though there will be rain for the next few days, I hope you all enjoy your March break. Now back to Shay in the studio.
Thanks, Elena. Trump campaigns, like any other American presidential campaign, gets its occasional set of protesters. But when Trump stepped into Chicago on Friday, he chose to cancel his rally due to the overwhelming presence of protesters that stood outside his event. Trump claimed to have spoken with police before canceling the event, but Chicago police said that they never spoke with Trump. Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton said Trump is a political arsonist who's inciting violence. She urged Americans to stand up to Trump's bullying tactics. Tomorrow is the third Super Tuesday. There is a total of 5 states that will hold their nominating primaries tomorrow: Ohio, Florida, Illinois, Missouri, and North Carolina. The Republicans, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, and Donald Trump, will be eyeing to take their leads, as different outcomes could shape the Republican GOP race. So far, Trump seems to be leading in delegates by 460. Cruz follows closely with 370 delegates, and Rubio with 163. Now let's head over to Sabrina Ruda with entertainment.
Thanks, Shay. The Canadian Screen Awards boasted lots of nominees this year, with many deserving stars. Host Norm Macdonald proposed the award night be called the Candies. The name caught on with many presenters and award winners over the evening. The term Candy tributes the Canadian comedian John Candy, who died in 1994. Comic actress Catherine O'Hara said that it will be hard to turn back from the nickname for next year's award ceremony. The big shocker of the night includes 9-year-old Jacob Tremblay winning Best Actor in a leading role for the movie Room. He was shocked to have won over 86-year-old Oscar winner Christopher Plummer. Room, which first premiered at TIFF, dominated the night with 9 awards, including Best Film and Best Director for Lenny Abrahamson. CBC sit comedy Schitt's Creek won 9 awards in the TV show categories, including Best TV Comedy. Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara both won leading star awards for the show. Ari Millen and Tatiana Maslany won Best Actor and Actress in TV show Orphan Black. And finally, CBC's Book of Negroes took home Best TV Movie. Toronto Fashion Week kicks off today in David Pico Square with Mikhail Kale at 6 p.m. Some notable designers for the week will include Bustle, David Dixon, Rudsack, and Farley Chatto. Tickets can cost anywhere between $45 and $800, depending on the designer and location of the seats. SkedLIVE reporter Emily Bongelli will be attending the Narcissus and Christopher Penill shows tonight, so be sure to check skedline.com for updates. U.S. President Barack Obama's daughters were all smiles when they got to meet Ryan Reynolds at the state dinner for Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Malia and Sasha Obama got to rub shoulders with Reynolds and talk with him about his latest movie, Deadpool. Malia and Obama can be seen giving the thumbs up to her sister in a photo captured by official White House photographer Pete Souza. The Deadpool star got to speak with Trudeau. He said through his Twitter feed that he joked with Trudeau about his plans to take Alaska. Pop icon Madonna broke down on stage at her most recent concert in Melbourne, Australia. The 57-year-old singer emotionally condemned her ex-husband, Guy Ritchie, regarding the custody battle between their 15-year-old son, Rocco. She swigged a fan's flask of alcohol and revealed her state of being sexually lonely and later asked, "Who is going to take care of me?" Ritchie and Madonna divorced in 2008 and agreed that Rocco would live with his mother. However, he has been living with Ritchie in London since December. Disney's latest animation, Zootopia, tops the box office again this weekend with $50 million in its second frame. That means that Zootopia has passed Big Hero 6 as the highest-grossing animated Disney film of all time. Some other major releases makes for a big box office weekend. The thriller 10 Cloverfield Lane brought in $25 million, paying back its budget in just one weekend. Deadpool grossed almost $11 million this weekend to reach a total of $328 million. London Has Fallen and Whiskey Tango Foxtrot filled the 4th and 5th spots. There's your entertainment headlines for today. Now back to the studio.
We have breaking news out of Moscow. Russian President Vladimir Putin has ordered Russian troops out of Syria. Putin says that he's coordinated the move with Syrian President Bashar al-Assad to help stimulate Syria's political talks. There's no confirmation on when or if the airstrikes will stop. 15 civilians and 3 special forces were killed in an attack on an Ivory Coast resort. Al-Qaeda, which operates in much of Western and Northern Africa, has claimed responsibility for the attack on Sunday. 33 other people were also injured in the attack. Armed Ivory Coast soldiers are now patrolling the streets. The president declared a 3-day mourning for the nation. Turkey is retaliating from a bombing that occurred less than 24 hours ago by the Kurdish Workers' Party, also known as the PKK. Although there is some indication that there isn't hard evidence pointing towards the PKK for the bombing that killed 37 people in Ankara. The PKK is a banned separatist group that is hostile to the Turkish government. More than 1,000 refugees are crossing a river into Macedonia while trying to avoid the northern border into Greece. The migrants use rope and each other to create a human chain to cross the river. The children were carried by adults. There are some reports surfacing that 3 migrants, 2 men and a woman, drowned while trying to cross the river. EU leaders will discuss how to deal with the migrant crisis and the illegal entry from Turkey to Europe through Greece. German Chancellor Angela Merkel says she will stick with her stance to accept refugees even though her Christian Democratic Party was defeated in 2 states during the Sunday elections. Merkel's migrant policy is said to be the reason for bad election results. Merkel's party might be looking for a new leader, but there isn't an alternative candidate at the moment. Now we head over to sports with Brian Angelera.
Thanks, Shay. Here are the latest from the SkedLine Sports Desk. Congratulations are in order to the Humber Hawks women's volleyball team as they bagged a bronze medal in the CCAA Volleyball Championships. They won 3-1 against Briarcrest. 2 women from the team were named at the tournament's All-Stars. Other action this week, the women's basketball team will face St. Mary's in the quarterfinals at the CCAA Women's Basketball Championships in Windsor, while the men's basketball team will be in Fort McMurray, Alberta, where they will face the Comison College from BC in the CAA Men's Basketball Championships. I just want to say good luck to everyone competing this week. Meanwhile, let's go to some action in the ice. Jonathan Bernier made 38 saves for his 12th career shutout and the 3rd of the season as the Toronto Maple Leafs defeated the Detroit Red Wings 1-0 Sunday night. Michael Grabner scored for Toronto, which recorded its first regulation win since February 25. Peter Mrazek made 26 saves for Detroit. Benson Rangers' Matt Collins' tie-breaking goal in the 3rd period powered the Pittsburgh Penguins to a 5-3 win over the New York Rangers on Sunday. Connor Sheary scored twice, and Patrick Hornquist and Sidney Crosby each added another for Pittsburgh, which improved to 36, 24, and 8. Lightning and Blue Jackets' Steven Stamkos scored twice, giving him 31 goals on the season, as the Tampa Bay Lightning cruised to a 4-0 win over the Columbus Blue Jackets on Sunday. Lightning goaltender Ben Bishop had a 33-save shutout, the 16th of his career. Moving on to the turf, the Toronto FC managed a 2-2 draw in their meeting against the New York FC on Sunday. The TFC was down 2-0 early in the first half, but managed to claw their way back with goals from Damien Perquis and TFC star Sebastian Giovinco. TFC goalie Clint Irwin was credited with 4 saves. TFC hasn't won a game against the NYCFC. They have 2 losses and 2 draws against the New York team. TFC will face Sporting Kansas City next. Speaking of Kansas City, they won against the Vancouver Whitecaps 2-1 in other MLS action over the weekend. while the Montreal Impact toppled the New York Red Bulls 3-0. To the hardwood we go. The Toronto Raptors will face the Chicago Bulls tonight. The Raps haven't won a game against the Bulls this season. They are 0-3 and are looking to snatch a win in their final regular game against Chicago. The Bulls have won 8 straight games against Toronto since February 2014, are a game back out of a playoff spot, while Toronto sits second in the Eastern Conference. In other NBA action, Cavaliers-Clippers LeBron James scored 27 points as the Cleveland Cavaliers crushed the LA Clippers 114-90 Sunday. It's the Cavs' third straight and 6th win in 7 games. J.R. Smith, who hit 5 3-pointers, and Kyrie Irving added 17 points apiece for the Cavs. Pacers and Atlanta. The Atlanta Hawks earned a split of the 4-game season series against Indiana by continuing their home dominance of the Pacers on Sunday night. The Hawks closed the third quarter on a 35 run to make the game a rout and rolled to a 104-75 victory for their 6th win in the past 17 regular season home games against Indiana. Let's switch gears and head to the Diamond. The Blue Jays continued to have an impressive spring training as they defeated the Tampa Bay Rays 6-1 yesterday to make their record 10-2, which is good for first place in the Grapefruit League. Candidates for the 5th spot in the rotation pitch on Sunday. Aaron Sanchez went 4 innings, striking out 4 and allowing only 1 hit, while Gavin Floyd struck out 5 in 3 innings. He pitched and gave up 1 run. Other news that came out of the Blue Jays camp, Fox Sports' Ken Rosenthal wrote that the Jays are willing to give Jose Bautista a Yoenis Cespedes type of deal. The Mets signed Cespedes to a 3-year contract worth $75 million with an opt-out after the first season. Now we head to the desert hard courts. The U.S. Tennis Association have announced that former WTA CEO and Canadian Stacey Alister will be its new chief executive of professional tennis. Alister will oversee the U.S. Open, the U.S. Open Series, the Davis Cup, and the Fed Cup. She was the first female tournament director of an ATP Masters event when she held the position for Rogers Cup. Alister became the chief executive of the Women's Tour in 2009 before resigning 6 months ago. Speaking of Canada, 2 Canadians will be in action today at the BNP Paribas Open in Indian Wells, California. Eugenie Bouchard is looking to continue her winning ways as she faces Timea Bashinsky of Switzerland in their 3rd round battle. This will be the first meeting between the 2 players. Bouchard leads the women's tour with most match wins so far this year. In the men's side, Milos Raonic will face Australia's Bernard Tomic in their 3rd round match. The 2 players have faced each other twice, with the Canadian winning both matches. Their last meeting was in Brisbane, Australia this year, where Raonic came out on top in straight sets. Now for Canadian race fans, James Hinchcliffe finished 19th in his return to the IndyCar tracks in the season opener at the St. Petersburg Grand Prix in Florida on Sunday. The Oakville, Ontario native missed the final 12 events of last season following a near-fatal crash on May last year during an Indianapolis 500 practice. Juan Pablo Montoya won the race for the 2nd consecutive year, beating Penske teammate Simon Pagenaud by 2.3 seconds. Now, before I go, here are the other things that happened in Canadian sports this weekend. Alberta's Kevin Coe defeated Newfoundland and Labrador's Brad Gushue 9-5 to win the 2016 Tim Hortons Brier Cup. The Calgary Inferno won their first ever Canadian Women's Hockey League Clarkson Cup after defeating the Les Canadiens of Montreal 8-3. Canada's Rugby 7 team finished 9th in the inaugural HSBC Canada Sevens on Sunday. The team won 5 of its 6 games yesterday. New Zealand brought home the title. That's all from us from the sports desk. I'm Brian Aguilar. Back to you, Shay, in the studio.
Thanks a lot, Brian. Well, that's it for today. I'm Shay Koshy. Have a wonderful day.